Hi everyone, Josh here. If you haven't already seen from our social media, we will be relaunching Just Films and That on August the 5th, and we're really looking forward to bringing you loads more episodes and content about all things underrated and underseen films. This is just a little episode we wanted to put together to explain a few changes that we've made. First and foremost, we're sorry it's taken so long. We did not intend for it to take so long, but unfortunately, various personal circumstances got in the way, as well as a few unexpected bumps in the road with the rebrand that we had to address. As we ultimately we wanted to make sure that we got the rebrand, absolutely spot on, so we can keep bringing new episodes that are as good as possible for as long as possible. Okay, so there has been a few changes. I will start with the big one. I say I'll start. Alice has a little announcement, and it only felt right to let her tell you herself. So have a listen to this.
Hello everyone, Alice here from your favourite film podcast. Now, it is with regret, and it's very unfortunate that I'm here to say that I'm actually leaving the podcast. Some of you may know that last year I had a baby, and since then I've pretty much found it difficult to do anything other than be that baby's parent. When we initially started talking about how much time I was going to take off, I thought maybe 2 months at the max I'd need until I could get back into the swing of things and start talking about underrated and underseen films again. But a few months more than that passed, and then I tried to get back into it with a Halloween episode and a fireworks night episode, and my heart and my head just wasn't in it. Now, this was really disappointing because I have loved doing this podcast with Josh. That chemistry that you hear on the episodes is totally authentic, and it has been absolutely fascinating for me to hear all the ways in which we agree and all the ways in which we disagree. And he's also made me aware of so many amazing films that I just never ever would have seen otherwise. And you know what? Him and producer Abby have been so unbelievably supportive and patient with me through this whole thing, and I've tried so hard to get back into it, but I just can't do it. If you have kids, you'll know that something happens to your brain where you just can't ever really switch off from that child, if you're trying to be a good parent anyway. So I'd be trying to watch the films for the podcast, I'd be trying to make notes, and I just felt so distracted. I could not keep it together, and I felt like when I was turning up to record, you just weren't getting the best of me, and just like I couldn't fully commit to it, and it is so disappointing. But I am pleased that I've realised that now, instead of trying to force myself to continue and then just delivering a bunch of real shitty episodes. But I just wanted to let you know what was on my list still to come, some of the films that I was going to pick eventually if I'd stayed on board. So we had Don't Look Up, The Mummy, Spaceman, Red One, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, Renfield, Mother, Exodus, The Internship, and we were going to have to talk about Clerks at some point as well. I want to say a huge thank you to everybody who's listened, especially you guys who have listened from the beginning. It has been an absolute joy interacting with you guys, hearing what films you're into, hearing whether or not you agree with us or disagree with us. We've had our listener suggestions. That's been hugely entertaining as well. And again, bringing films to the table for me that I just never would have watched otherwise. And a huge thank you to all the guests that we've had on over the years. I have met some of my comedy heroes through this podcast. Milo McCabe, aka Troy Hawk, Matt Green, Rosie Holt. I know that Jamie Allerton has been holding the fort since I left, and he is going to continue on with Josh where he can. So I didn't want this to go on for too long, so we'll end it there. But again, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's listened, everyone who's supported us, all our amazing guests over the years, and especially to Josh and Abby for keeping this thing going. You guys are absolutely amazing. You probably only realise how much hard work it is if you're also doing a podcast. So I think it's really easy to overlook all the stuff that's going on behind the scenes to make this work, and you guys have just been amazing through it all, so thank you so much for that. I've honestly had such an amazing few years doing this with you guys. I've enjoyed every second of it. It has been so much fun. But thank you all so much for listening, and maybe you'll see me around doing some other sort of project. I wonder if I should do a podcast about parenting. I feel like nobody's done that yet.
Yes, so there we go. Alice will no longer be my co-host, unfortunately. From my own point of view, I just wanted to take a moment to thank Alice for everything she's done for both me and for the podcast. She's been an amazing co-host. Her warm personality, sense of humour and professionalism, I think, shines through in every single minute of every single episode she's done. It's been a genuine pleasure to work with her for the last few years, and I think she'll be a huge miss for the podcast. Obviously, I'm personally gutted that she's not continuing to do it, but whilst it is sad, she needs to do what's best for her and her family. I know that, and we know that as a sort of family behind it, and as the listeners, I hope you appreciate that as well. We wish her all the best for the future, and I personally look forward to seeing her outside of the podcast, not just on a laptop screen, talking about films, because as we have touched on many times, we are actually friends as well, and I know that she did agonise over this decision, and I support her, and I wish her all the best for the future. Alice, if you are listening to this, you've been incredible, and love you to pieces. With the sad news out the way, let's move on to the good news, which is that I'm very happy to announce that Jamie Allerton has been roped in. He's agreed to be my new co-host. If you don't know Jamie, he has stepped in whilst Alice was on maternity leave. So he's been with me for the last couple of months towards the end of 2024. He's a comedian. He's a brilliant comedian. He's a fantastic writer and a great film podcaster in his own right, as he constantly advertiser telling us he's got a degree in film studies from Northampton University. So we've given him the envious task of trying to fill Alice's shoes. I think he's more than up to the job, and we're looking forward to working with Jamie for as long as he'll have us. If you haven't already done so, then give Jamie a follow on social media and give his own podcast a listen and a follow. His social media and links to his podcast and all that will be in the show notes from today moving forward, so do give them a click. In terms of any other changes, look, it's largely the same apart from a few housekeeping bits. The tone's going to stay largely the same. We're going to continue bringing you that light-hearted and funny film chat every Tuesday, trying to celebrate films that we think and the listeners think deserve more love. One thing that will change, though, is the sort of structure and types of episodes we're going to be doing in terms of the hosts, as we're going to be focusing a little bit more on your listeners' suggestions. So episodes will still be every Tuesday, but it's going to work like this. One week, it'll be me and Jamie talking about a film that we think, as me and Alice did and me and Jamie did as well. If one of us will pick a film that we think deserves more love for whatever reason, whether it's underrated or underseen, and we'll continue to talk about that. Then every other week, it will be a shorter episode, which I do on my own, sometimes with Jamie, but a lot of the time it's going to be me on my own, covering one of your listeners' suggestions, where one of you guys can write in and tell us a film that you think deserves more love. And that's where, and this is purely down really to scheduling for me and Jamie. And now, more importantly, listen, me and Jamie have got loads of films. I've got a long list of films to cover that will cover us for years to come. But for me, this podcast is all about the fans and all about you guys listening. So I wanted to bring you that sort of interactive element and make you feel as involved as you can be. So like I said, every other week, I'm going to be delving into your correspondence and picking films that you've suggested. Then I'll do a short episode where I talk about them. And that is where you come in. So if you have a film that you think deserves more love for whatever reason, whether it's underrated or underseen, get in touch with us and we'll add it to the list. You can do so. I think the best way to do it would be to drop us an email, tell us a little bit about yourself. Think 30-second game show intro. Tell us the film you think deserves more love and tell us why. Is it underrated? Is it underseen? You can do that by dropping us an email, as I say. I think one of the best ways to do it for me it would be to send us a voice note, but I would appreciate not everyone wants that. So get in touch and suggest a film, and then we'll go from there. It's filmsandthatpod@gmail.com, and then we'll keep a list of those and work through them as we go along. Other than that, we'll still look to bring you guest episodes where we can, and we'll carry on covering the odd classic film. And I'm going to be doing loads of new releases where I can as well, writing reviews for Letterboxd and recording episodes for this as well. Few other bits you'll see from your podcast feed. We've got a snazzy new logo and a brilliant new theme tune, which I absolutely love. Really, loads and loads of work have gone into that from both me, producer Abby, and the guys who've done them. So thanks so much to Dan for the logo and Tom for the theme. It was a pleasure working with both of you, and I'd encourage anyone who needs graphic design or musical work to seek out both Dan or Tom, depending on what you need. They're brilliant. It was such a breeze to work with, and they did what we needed with with minimal fuss in terms of they just, I said it and then they put it on the page or into the ears for us. They were really brilliant. I can't speak highly enough for them even. I will put notes to their stuff in every episode moving forward. So if you are interested in graphic design for Dan or musical work for Tom, hit them up. I'm sure they're very busy, but they were great to work with. I can't recommend them enough, especially if you are another podcast listening to this. We're going to be releasing every episode on YouTube in video format as well, so make sure you subscribe to our channel. It's linked in the show notes. Then just one final thing. This is mainly for Patreon listeners, but we've decided to put the Patreon on the back burner for now until we can find a way to make basically make it worth people's while who are subscribing. We're not really in this for the money. Without letting you behind the curtain, we make a little bit, but that's mainly not from Patreon and things like that. So anyone who's involved in podcasting will tell you it's nearly impossible to make money in this climate. That's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it for the love of it. I do it, because I love films. I love writing about films. I love talking about films. Okay, but if you do want to support us, we've set up a coffee page, which is a little bit more streamlined than Patreon, where basically you can donate to us. The whole idea is it's the price of a coffee, so you can donate to us whatever you want. If you would like, anything you give us at the kindness of your heart will, of course, be massively appreciated. But to be honest, we just appreciate you listening. And spreading the word to anyone who you think might like the stuff that we're putting out there. Listen, all that remains to be said is thank you very much for sticking with us. Hopefully this is a new era for the podcast. Looking forward to seeing how it goes, and we will see you next week. First episode, very excited for. It's an absolute stone cold mid-90s classic. And yes, we will see you moving forward every week in your podcast feed on a Tuesday and a Thursday for Throwback Thursday. Thanks for your support. Thanks for carrying on listening. And one final time, thank you, Alice.